You guys want to read? God, I love reading. Let me just... traps we know about. Break we know about. Target control, sure. Great. What is a town report? Segment address, okay. Corridor-shaped area created by bugs in construction nanomachines. Normally they can be identified by their locked red doors. In recent years, segments with gold doors have also been cited. However, due to the scarcity of reports, much is still unknown about segments. Additionally, the Cunningham Company, the largest manufacturer of construction nanomachines in the Star Cluster, completely denies that its nanomachines are creating segments. An item known as a segment file exists which can record the location of discovered segment addresses, a list of obtained decoders, and other information. Segment files can record a variety of data, including locations of discovered addresses. Said that there are now hundreds of segment hunter hobbyists throughout the Star Cluster. For these people, segment files are indispensable items. It's widely held that the segment file was invented by a soldier on Mictam named Neil Swain. Okay. Was that the guy from fucking the Våglinde? I don't know. A repair device for unlocking segment address. Yeah, segment file. I do like reading exactly what things... like the details of things. Okay. Was his name always Piazzolla? Named after the alchemical process of whitening. Is that what it is? As put forth in C.G. Jung's Psychology and Alchemy, URTV unit number 667 is a variant with milky white hair. A being with recuperative abilities that surpass even nanomachines in rebuilding speed, he is practically immortal. Like Junior, he is a survivor of the URTV Udo retrovirus force that was artificially created to oppose Udo. He developed a mental instability as a result of Udo waveform contamination during the Miltian conflict and destroyed the URTV force to which he belonged. Born as conjoined twins with Junior. Right, that was a thing. The two strongly felt like they were part of each other's body even after they were separated. His Udo contamination was a result of the collapse of that psychic bond caused when Junior, Rubido, shut his mind out in fear of Udo going out of control. Albedo consequently felt that he had been betrayed and abandoned by his other half, his own brother. His obsessive manner when dealing with Junior was a result of the psychological shock he had received at that time. His half-mad personality was a result of Udo contamination, but even before that incident he was unable to understand the fear of injury or death experienced by others due to his immortal condition. Remember that scene where he fucking blows his own head off? What a sick scene. Perhaps as a reaction to this, he developed an acute fear of rejection and solitude, and was pathologically obsessed with forming relationships with others. After the Miltian conflict, he was found lying unconscious under the central shaft of the Song of Nephilim by Sellers, who had attempted to escape from Miltia by forcing the song to surface. At this time, Albedo was half dead, presumably as a result of being hit by waveforms which had released by Negrito, the URTV's fail-safe and acting executioner. Once he finally recovered from the attacks of his would-be executioner, Albedo turned to the UTIC organization in Ormus. He joined forces with Margulis and Sellers to obtain the Y data which Joachim Mizrahi had left, although Albedo's true objective was a complete link with Udo, which is the only possible way of granting his desire for oblivion. Together with Margulis, he doggedly pursued Momo, Mizrahi's final creation, in order to revive the Zohar that slept on Miltia, and this was that mostly describes episode 1. His unnatural fixation on Momo was the result not only of his desire to seize the Y data, but also of the relationship shared between Junior and the girl on whom Momo had been modeled, Sakura Mizrahi. Indeed. Sakura and Junior's friendly behavior caused Albedo to feel lonely and excluded, eventually leading him to enviously wonder how he might interact with others in the same fashion. However, being unable to understand others' pain, and consequently unable to touch their hearts, he could only express his emotions in a twisted manner. His seemingly cruel behavior towards not only Momo but the Kirschwassers as well was another warped reflection of his envious feelings towards such unity and emotional communion. The Kirschwassers being those other Realians. Remember how he twisted off his own head? Man, that was sick. An entirely different instance from when he blew his head off. He also ripped his own head off in front of Momo. Oh, fucking sick. Having obtained the Y data, revived Milsha, and finally linked again with Udo, Albedo was assimilated into Udo. I can't decide if it's Udo or Udo, I don't remember. Becoming one with its waveforms and awaited oblivion at the hands of Junior's anti-waveforms. While Albedo's true desire was unity with Junior, his choice of death was the only means of escaping from the impossibility of that reality. Motivated by the thought that if unity is impossible, oblivion is the next best thing. He achieved oblivion at Junior's hand by accepting Udo's characteristics into a part of himself. In his mind, this must have been the best way to get close to Junior. His choice to rely on Junior, even though he could have used his URTV ability to cause a mutual annihilation effect with Udo on his own, is further proof of this notion. While Oblivion did grant a portion of his wish, it was also undeniably an effort to escape the reality he faced. Yeah, shit's rough. Alan Ridgely, former vice chief... let's fucking read. Let's just read for the rest of this episode, however long it takes. Former Vice Chief of Vector Industries' first R&D division, Cosmos Project, Joint Operation Systems Development. Hell of a title. Joined Vector's first R&D division in TC 4764 after graduating from the University of Bormio. I think we read that at some point. While 2 years older than former Chief Shion Uzuki, he's 1 year her junior at Vector. Acting as Vice Chief for the duration of Shion's time at Vector, he continually supported Shion and garnered her trust and that of his subordinates with a diligent work ethic. The term simple and honest describe this affable young man perfectly. He was appointed R&D chief after Shion's departure from Vector and was sent to 5th Jerusalem. Yes, I see. He cares for Shion, but due to past events concerning Shion and her former love Kevin Winnicott, and his own personal insecurities regarding Kevin, he does not often express his thoughts and emotions. His family appears to be quite wealthy, but he prefers to avoid relying on them. His hobby is fishing. Huh. Wilhelm, founder... Oh, this motherfucker. Founder and CEO of interplanetary conglomerate Vector Industries. Having created the UMN, a giant network unifying all of space and built facilities for hyperspace navigation, the company has become the de facto nucleus of all civilization with a firm grasp of all the latest technology. You know, it's not entirely unlike the Choam Corporation in Dune. The only ones to understand Wilhelm's fixation with Shion and Cosmos, his purpose and motivation, are the Testaments, and even they may not truly understand his plans. Supposedly, his office is constantly filled with the music of Wagner. Calling Chaos Yeshua. He was the one who called Chaos Yeshua. Is that so? I didn't remember that. And reading the movements of the compass of order and chaos, he plots to change the very shape of the world. Yeah, I got the feeling that this guy might be like the big bad of this game. Voyager. A follower of Wilhelm, he appears before Shion and the others several times as a testament. I'm not reading spoilers, am I? He's thought to share some connection with the Ziggy. Maybe I need to read Pied Piper as well, or watch. I don't know what that is exactly. Okay, so this outright states that this is Virgil. He appears before Shion and the others several times. Should I read this? Okay, this doesn't give away anything really. Constantly monitors Shion and Cosmos as a testament under Wilhelm's direct orders. Because Virgil has appeared before us before. Black-cloaked follower of Wilhelm, he appears before Shion and the others as a testament. Sig is calling him Voyager. Oh. Is that then... Oh. Is that spoilers? I don't know. Details surrounding this are unknown. White-cloaked follower. I don't know how much of this I should be reading. I'ma just do it. Representative Trustee of the Galaxy Federation Mission Autonomous State Special Foundation, the Kukai Foundation. Like Junior, he is a survivor of the URTV, Udo retrovirus, force that was created to combat Udo. Named for the alchemical process of blackening as put forth in... Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. Guinan and Albedo are then opposite processes, essentially. URTV unit number 669, a variant possessing the name Negrito, pitch black. Presently hiding his identity as a URTV, fills the role of representative trustee for the Kukai Foundation along with Junior. Is he still around though? Didn't he get like possessed by fucking Yuriev or whatever? Yeah, Dmitry Yuriev down there. I will get there. This is probably good at getting everything straight in my memory, somewhat at least. Black-haired with dark green eyes, calm in personality, shoulders the trust and expectations of the Foundation members and holds powerful political influence. He was lauded for his defense and unification of victims prior to the enactment of the Species Preservation Act. He possesses the power to control the thoughts of others and the power of hypnotic suggestion, interference with a person's consciousness, using his voice as a medium. Junior is the practical controlling force behind the Kukai Foundation's activities. It can be said that Guinan is the political force. It is through the combined efforts of them both that the Kukai Foundation's continued existence is made possible. Without either, it would fail. Taken in by Helmer after the Miltian conflict, Guinan inherited the name of Zozi Kukai upon establishment of the Foundation. Incidentally, Zozi Kukai is the name of a fictitious industrialist invented by the second Miltian government in order to pool special activities capital. What the fuck is this? Like, what a strange detail to include in your world building, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, down there, we're gonna see what... I don't remember what happened with that. Unlike the other URTVs, Guinan was not programmed to react to Udo waveforms. His true role was to act as a failsafe in the event that a powerful variant went berserk, specifically the elimination of Junior. Furthermore, Dmitry Yuriev planned to extend his own life by transplanting his psyche into Guinan, due to Guinan's special powers. After his body was taken over by Dmitry, Guinan was forced to work towards Dmitry's goals regardless of his own will. And that's kind of where we're left off. We did read this, right? Yeah. Hey, Chaos. A slight boy with an expression is perpetually brimming with sorrow and a far-sighted and philosophical manner of speech, distinguished by his transparent eyes, and silver hair. As he refuses to mention anything of his past beyond his name, his personal history, and even the question of whether he remembers it himself are shrouded in mystery. Which I really hope that we get some revelations about Chaos. I have some ideas, considering he was called Yeshua. And that's certainly an idea, you know? And it might be true. We'll see. It seems as though he has spent a great deal of time with Captain Matthews and his crew and has earned their trust. Kevin Winnicott is fucking dead. Central figure to the Cosmos Project joint operation, Shion's superior and former lover. A man of great brilliance with a bright future ahead of him, until he was killed, protecting Shion during an accident in which the archetype went berserk during an activation test. The archetype. I thought that was just Cosmos. After his death, Shion continued his work, taking the development of Cosmos into her own hands. Though generally a gentle young man who inspired trust in his subordinates, his expression was occasionally darkly clouded. Okay, archetype, Cosmos archetype. In Jungian psychology, are we going Jungian psychology on Cosmos? Interesting. The archetype is a portion of the mind which is passed on hereditarily. It is said to be the model upon which the unconscious instinctive workings of the mind are structured. In the story, the name is given to the prototype of Cosmos designed by Kevin. I see. The frame test type, frame put together by Shion and the others after transplanting the core module of the partially destroyed archetype into a spare frame. Christened, how do you say that? I don't know. Cosmos version 1. Partially in order to shake off memories of the incident when the archetype went out of control, the exterior of this model's design was much closer to that of a human body. Several monitoring sensors were installed inside the body to record real-world data. Combat frame. The frame created by the 2nd R&D Division on 2nd Militia during the Cosmos OS test, Vector staff referred to it as version 2. I didn't much care for it. I much preferred version 1. In order to shield her internal organs from shocks... Her internal organs? Does she have those? From shocks delivered to the outer body during combat, her body was filled with fluorescent blue anti-G gel. The Hilbert emission device, which had taken the form of a visor in version 1, was miniaturized and installed to her forehead. Oh shit. Her body was designed with the implementation of the tertiary weapon system in mind. Its resilience was increased dramatically. Yeah, I like the visor. I think the visor completes the look. That doesn't look quite right. A female-shaped battle android developed by the interplanetary conglomerate Vector Industries, a being created entirely from mechanical parts, is exceptionally rare in this area of advanced reality and technology. In all matters, she places priority on the three fundamentals of logic, efficiency, and duty, and she protects her creator Xion unconditionally. She is equipped with an artificial personality OS in hopes of facilitating smooth communication with others, and her tone is that of an android subservient to humans. As she is actually just prioritizing logic and efficiency, however, she can often be difficult to handle. Cosmos is the term applied to the entire anti-gnosis combat system. It stands for Cosmos Obey Strategical Multiple Operation Systems. Fucking stop. Is the K for Cosmos stands for Cosmos? like the U in Unix? No, the G in GNU. GNU is not Unix. There we go. Okay. She currently uses a cutting-edge version 3 body, complete with multiple upgrades based on battle data gathered from version 2. While the basic construction is the same as in version 2, the latest parts have been implemented in the primary armor, frame, and drive systems, yielding a pronounced increase in battle capabilities, apparently. Well, we have a few to go through. I'll just keep going. Shelley Godwin. Oh, we've seen her. A mutant born through life recycling. Have we ever heard of that? Have we ever heard why she's like she is? Secretary to Guinan Kukai and the Durandal's operator. She administrates the workings of the ship according to Junior's orders, an intelligent woman with cool-headed and precise judgment, practically a sister to Mary, who shares her origins. She is able to communicate telepathically with Mary via interlink. Originally an illegal test subject at a pharmaceutical company, she and Mary now reside with the Kukai Foundation after being taken in by Guinan. Is that what they are? What the fuck? Ziggy! After his death on the line of duty in TC-4667 at the age of 30, his remains were donated for body augmentation. He resumed his post 2 years later as a battle cyborg. His current posting is Contact Subcommittee member Julie Mizrahi. His name in life was Jan Sauer. Did we know that? Oh well. Survivor of the URTVs, the special group of people created based on data collected from Udo, the discarnate entity that threatened the Galaxy Federation in the past in order to be its anti-existence. His official name is URTV Unit Number 666 Rubido. He was born from the same embryo as URTV Unit Number 667 Albedo. He has the ability to activate the special anti-Udo waveform mode Red Dragon, which causes mutual destruction upon contact with Udo. In order to contain that dual-edged power, Junior has half-subconsciously halted the development of his own body. However, as this mutual destruction extends only to Junior and the observational terminal part of Udo, from a cost-benefit perspective, his powers cannot be called a complete anti-Udo solution. There goes Jin Uzuki. Oh, I think his face model is improved. Former captain of the Galaxy Federation Special Ops Intelligence Bureau, older brother of Xion. While in the military, he was ranked directly under Margulis and was Pellegri's superior. He and Margulis both learned swordsmanship under Jin's grandfather, Oga Uzuki. Another Uzuki we don't know? After becoming aware of Margulis' treachery during the Miltian conflict, Jin began his own secret information activities under then-Lieutenant General Helmer. His relationship with Chaos also began during this period. Who the fuck are you, Scott? A young man originally from planet Brezza. Originally only visiting the Kukai Foundation out of his interest in Lost Jerusalem era antiques, he found it so comfortable there that he stayed on. Lately, finding a kindred spirit in an elderly man at the Iron Man bar, he moved in at the Robot Academy and now works in... Is this like in the fucking... Is this related to like the side quest about finding robot parts that I didn't fucking bother with? Huge fan of liquor despite his reserved appearance. Okay. Dmitry Yuriev. Former Galaxy Federation Parliament member and donor of the genes used in URTVs like Junior and Guinan. Oh, is that why they look the same? I see. I probably knew that now that I think about it. I can't remember. Quite influential during his time in Parliament, he retains many connections within the Federation to this day. Though said to have died prior to the Milesian conflict, I was just about to say, wasn't he believed dead? He stepped back onto the public stage at the time of the Ormus-caused space-time anomaly in Milesian space. Oh, really? Was that... I don't know if I understood that in the cutscenes, but that might have been conveyed. Probably just me not really getting it. An ambitious man and a schemer. He operates a private research facility, the Yuriev Institute. After his awakening, he takes control of the Salvatore faction in Parliament, as well as military forces, and moves to secure the Zohar. Currently possessing the body of URTV survivor Guinan Kuka, he grips the reins of the Zohar project. I see. Tony! Helmsman of the Kuka Foundation Civilization cargo and passenger ship Elsa. While gentlemanly in appearance, his personality visibly shifts to that of a daredevil once he grips the helm. He is the childhood friend of Hammer the Navigator. Nonetheless, his self-labeled best in space piloting technique really is top class, and has gotten the Elsa through countless dangerous situations in the past. Despite his gruff way of speaking and other roguish tendencies, his good nature and constant consideration for others inspire trust in everyone around him. He exhibits a belief in the supernatural by his exaggerated respect for the dead and his habit of chanting Our Father who art in heaven when in a pinch. An unrivaled womanizer. Nephilim. The illusionary... Let's read this real nice and close. Get everything straight. The illusionary girl who repeatedly appears before Shion with the sound of a chime. Akira, fuck, god damn it, even just reading it, god fuck. She repeatedly offers Shion advice in an adult manner incongruous with her appearance, though her motives are unclear. She exists as a consciousness in imaginary space with no material body. She is unable to physically interfere with the material world. When Shion performed an encephalon dive into Cosmos mainframe, Nephilim encouraged Shion to take action by showing her scenes of the past and of Udo's possible future resurrection, by assuring her that the future could still be changed. Nothing about fucking the missing year, where she was super important and like the daughter of Grimoire that he tried to put into the girl who has a name. She's not in this list, by the way, that I can see. Anyways, Professor, Robot Man, Robot Academy, Kuka Foundation, Erde Kaiser. Did he actually make that? I don't remember that happening because that was a side quest that I didn't do. Hammer, navigator of the Kuka Foundation Civilization Elsa. A renowned hacker as a teenager, he got cocky and made a move on a certain criminal organization's database, became targeted for retribution as a result. Saved by Matthews, the relationship has continued since then. He's a childhood friend of Tony the helmsman. Even though his navigational skills are top class and he has the trust of Matthews and Tony, people often assume that he's just a clown upon first meeting him, perhaps because of his levity. While his flippant remarks often incite Matthews' anger, they appear to consider that a part of the bond they share. Irrepressibly curious, he actively tries to get involved in everything, although he's also timid and often has reservations, quick to back out of what he's gotten himself into. What do you know? Okay, not too many left. Fabronia, please remind me. Realian, who appears repeatedly before Shion. She begs Shion to save her younger sisters, asks that Shion destroys the Zohar control system and change the future for the sake of all consciousness, both those of mankind and those of things. Oh, that's Pellegrini. Inquisitor of the Secret Society Ormus, commands the Utic organization and Ormus's work forces as Margulis' right hand. Though her speech and conduct give the impression that she is a moderate, she is ruthless in her efforts to accomplish the organization's goals. We had a boss fight with her, I want to remember. Like Margulis, she gives her all as an inquisitor in order to facilitate a return to the holy motherland of Lost Jerusalem. Margulis is the chief inquisitor of the Secret Society Ormus. Publicly, he holds the title of commander-in-chief of the Utic organization. Merciless master of the sword, with exceptional battle prowess and crystal-clear judgment, the leadership he displays within Ormus beneath his lofty ideals is absolute. Muscular in stature, his cheek His cheek sports a large scar. Okay, I couldn't fucking read that properly. That scar was given to him by Jin Uzuki's sword 15 years earlier during the Miltian conflict. As a youth, both he and Jin Uzuki trained in the sword under Jin's grandfather. It is said that at the time, Margulis' skills surpassed that of Jin. Upon becoming colonel of the Galaxy Federation Special Ops, he received orders from Heinlein and in his capacity as a member of Ormus and began secret intelligence activities in earnest. The events that occurred during that time tied Margulis and Jin together with strong bonds of fate. He pledged loyalty to Cardinal Heinlein in hopes of a return to the Holy Motherland of Lost Jerusalem. Matthews, captain of the captain of the Elsa. Formerly a member of the Galaxy Federation government's naval forces, he later became a so-called recycler, roaming through space collecting, repairing, and reselling military goods. The last few years, however, have mainly been filled with work for the Foundation. Natural leader filled with a sense of social duty, he is quick to step forward to protect the people he knows when danger threatens. However, the fact that his actions are currently driven by the need to repay a huge amount of debt is somewhat pathetic. Wow. He has a rustic and hearty personality, and is also an unparalleled lush. I don't know what that means. His love of liquor is such that he created a bar within his ship. I remember the fucking stupid drink quest where you had to help the robots make like a hangover cure. That was the dumbest shit. Even in an era of technology as advanced as the Encephalon, his interests run toward the nostalgic, such as wanting to attend live concerts. Indeed. Mary Godwin, a mutant created through life recycling, chief of the Kukai Foundation's First Strategy Division. Together with Shelley, she assists Junior and Guinan and supports the Foundation. Originally an illegal tech pharmaceutical, she now resides same as Shelley. Speaks with what seems like a strange accent from the outer planets and strives to be the galaxy's top comedian, supposedly. Yeah, she has like a Southern American accent in the localized version. No idea how she sounds in Japanese. Bright and energetic, she keeps the crew and the 100 series aboard Durandal in top spirits. She's able to communicate telepathically with Shelley via interlink. Momo, the prototype for the 100 series multi-observational Realian, officially known as Multiple Observative Mimetic Organicus. I didn't know that Momo stood for anything, god damn it. Developed in order to make contact with and observe the gnosis, which are only perceptible via certain special sense. Momo can aptly be called the combined product of all the galaxy's latest technology. Built by Joachim Mizrahi, her appearance was modeled on Professor Mizrahi's late child Sakura Mizrahi. Regular 100 series multi-observational Realians have only their anti-gnosis capabilities in common with Momo. As products manufactured by the Galaxy Federation's government, their abilities are similar to those of regular Realians, making Momo an entirely unique entity. Julie Mizrahi, she's Galaxy Federation Government Contact Subcommittee dedicated representative. Wife of the late Joachim Mizrahi. Her maiden name is Niwashiro. I didn't know that. Julie Niwashiro. Okay. Following the Miltian conflict, which had been brought about by her husband Joachim, she proposed the establishment of the Contact Subcommittee out of concern for the spreading gnosis phenomenon. Though initially cold towards Momo, who had been created in the image of her beloved daughter, Momo's earnestness gradually opened her heart. Yeah. Genius scientist who founded the UTIC organization and established Hilbert theory. The results he left the Federation are immeasurable, including DSSS and the 100 series system. Development of high-efficiency nanomachines, written works on Realian technology, and the fundamental research concerning the gnosis phenomenon. It is believed that the death of his beloved daughter Sakura drove him progressively further apart from society to drown himself in science, making him lose his sense of ethics and become a madman. He died from a fall from the top of the UTIC organization Central Tower Labyrinthos after fucking screaming verses of the Book of Revelation, which was pretty rad. I didn't know your name was Louis. Louis Virgil, former lieutenant in the Galaxy Federation Navy. Following the disappearance of planet Ariadne, he was a member of the investigative force aboard the cruiser Vogelinde. He was a top-class ex-pilot. He was fatally shot by Cosmos during the Gnosis attack on the Vogelinde. A vicious-looking man, the skin all over his body was cracked and splintered as a result of DME addiction. He would eat Realian brains. He showed a prejudicial and cruel nature toward Realians, which bordered on outright enmity. While it is unknown exactly what brought on this hatred for Realians, it seems to be the result of an event which took place 15 years ago when he was a soldier during the 2nd and 3rd Militian descent operations. It is thought that he shared some contact at that time with Fibronia, the Realian who sent Shion a message in the Encephalon. He later appeared as a Testament, a member of Wilhelm's vanguard force, yet his attempts to contact Shion even after he became a Testament appeared to be motivated more by his own past than the result of Wilhelm's orders. That feels like I maybe shouldn't know that quite yet. Let's read exactly what an Encephalon is and does. An extremely realistic virtual space that can be created using UMN location data, the uploaded recorded memories and activities of individuals stored in the UMN. The time and place can be recreated as long as the data is available. Encephalon Dive. Is that the tutorial level from the first game, by the way, down in the corner? Encephalon Dive is the process of entering the virtual space constructed by the Encephalon. Unvisited areas within the Encephalon can be explored because the UMN data supplements information missing from the diver's memory. However, the Encephalon is still an unstable memory-dependent space. For this reason, diverse memories that share a time and place have been known to resonate and unintentionally replay. The word Encephalon comes from the Greek word brain. Yep, 100% true. Enhanced memory model. This type of Realian is enhanced with 1,000 times more information recording devices than a regular model for specialization in memory and storing recorded data. The amount of space even allows the model to back up its own memory and recorded data. It also has enhanced information access speed and protection against loss of information versus the regular model. Kanan is this type of Realian. He has undergone further enhancement by Vector with the addition of ES pilot abilities. To gate out refers to the process of ships and other vehicles moving out of hyperspace to normal space by using the UMN. The process is usually possible only within the valid range of the UMN transfer column. And a gate jump refers to the process of ships and other vehicles moving into hyperspace from normal space by using the UMN. The process is usually possible only within the valid range of UMN transfer column. Gnosis and the ES Dyna are able to interact with hyperspace outside the valid range of the column. Dyna can do that? Huh. Auto mode refers to a mode wherein a unit operates autonomously. Because Cosmos is currently running in auto mode, she uses her own judgment to process and act upon the various data entering the mainframe sensors. Ever since the incident when the archetype went out of control, auto mode was supposed to have been sealed. However, when the cruiser Vogelinde was attacked by Gnosis, Cosmos began to run in auto mode without the startup code, rescuing the imperiled Shion. Yeah, that still hasn't exactly been explained, you know. Disconnect refers to the act of physically breaking one's connection to the Encephalon within the UMN when trouble arises during the session. Although it depends on the connection system, in most cases the subject will suffer significant physical damage. In the worst case, his or her brain may even become impaired. For this reason, disconnects are usually prohibited. The 100 series observational unit. Anti-Gnosis observational Realians equipped with the 100 series system, which combines DSS and the Hilbert effect. They are young-looking Realians designed by the late Professor Joachim Mizrahi and based on the Momo prototype. They were mass-produced by the Contact Subcommittee, a governmental institution of the Galaxy Federation. In the process of developing his Momo prototype, Professor Mizrahi manufactured a large number of data collection test beds called Kirschwasser. Momo was the 100th model produced. As present, the 100 series system requires several dozen tons of system capacity. Theory holds that it cannot be miniaturized to human dimensions. The 100 series system, as used by the Galaxy Federation Army, consists of the main unit, a mainframe-like device measuring 10 cubic meters, and a production model 100 series Realian used as a personal device. Used as a personal device, what a way to frame that, eh? And 100 series, yeah. The Hilbert effect is a limited perception field generation system developed as a method of reaching out from real space to interact with the gnosis which exist in imaginary space, which is still a strange concept, you know. It makes interacting action by real-world humans possible by translating imaginary space pulsations into a common language and intentionally expanding the accessible area of imaginary space, normally Planck scale style. Planck scale? Man, the scientific lingo they throw around in these games sometimes. This also allows the use of everyday weapons against gnosis who ignore the laws of physics. Usually, Cosmos can create a field of about 300,000 kilometers, but when using all our power, that field can expand to several million astronomical units. Do you know what an astronomical unit is? If I'm not mistaken, it's roughly the average distance between Earth and the Sun. That's an astronomical unit. Several million astronomical units. That's getting way up there. How many? Let me think real quick. There's 60 hours in a day. 60 minutes in an hour, I mean. Fuck. God damn it. 24 hours in a day. That's what I was trying to say. I'm just thinking, because one astronomical unit should be around 8 to 9 light minutes, yeah? Let's say low ball and say 8. 60 minutes in an hour times 24 gives us, let's see, 1200 plus 240 means 1440 minutes times 300. Yeah, several million astronomical units would be several light years. That's a long distance. Momo and 100 series observational units can create a field with a range of up to 100 kilometers using a special large-scale amplifier. Without this device, however, they are limited to only a few hundred meters. Mass Driver, a launch system that uses magnetism to accelerate high-mass objects instead of relying on propellants. Most often used for turning out large space ships and transporting supplies to satellite orbits for use in the construction of orbital elevators and space colonies. In the story, a lone boy uses a mass driver at the spaceport on planet make attempt to escape, really. Realians are said to be the culmination of molecular bioengineering. Their body makeup ranges from carbon-based and very similar to that of humans to constructions based on silicon and even liquid metal. There is a type for every application. Legally, they were considered equipment, but they possess intelligence and have emotions, which had been suppressed for their role as servants. Their basic human rights were acknowledged after the Milesian conflict, however, and apart from some Realians used for special work or in extreme conditions, their emotions were no longer deactivated. On the other hand, their manufacturers have fitted them with emergency control codes for merchandise control and crisis management purposes. Many firms are manufacturing Realians, but their critical program, i.e. their central nervous system, is generally produced by Vector. It is a veritable black box, and all maintenance procedures beyond everyday adjustments and alterations can only be carried out at Vector's 3rd division. There was a time when Milesia's Utic organization performed a great deal of research and development into specialized Realians. It was during this time that the 100 series observational unit and battle Realians underwent improvement. It appears that various other Realian research took place as well, but most of the associated data was lost during the Milesian conflict, and no further information is available today. Okay, events. The space-time anomaly. Phenomenon in which the border between real space and its opposite, imaginary space, blurs and the composition of space itself warps. Brought about by events such as a Zohar going out of control. The destruction of Milesha, Ariadne, and loss of Jerusalem were all the result of space-time anomalies. These anomalies can be confirmed by EPR radar. Zohar, not Okay, yeah. The unannounced attack on a Galaxy Federation in Miltian space by non-Federation planet Zor is taken to have been the starting point of the incident. However, as surrounding planets were taken into space-time anomaly after the Miltian conflict, the truth of the matter is still unknown. One theory is that the radical faction of the former Republic of Miltia rejected the idea of joining the Federation, instead joining forces with their former immigrant fleet brethren living on Zoar and taking military action. Another theory states that the Federation's Salvators, pretending to be the radical faction, invaded the neighboring areas in the name of preserving the peace, but actually hoping to place all Miltian space under their control. And the Miltian conflict, the final conflict of the Zoar incident, in which a fierce battle between the Federation government and the Utic organization unfolded upon Xion's homeland of Miltia. The Federation government's military initiated its third descent operation, this time including the URTV Special Forces. According to the records, Utic organization founder Joachim Misrai caused the Zohar to go out of control, producing a space-time anomaly. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now let's just finish it. I might section this off into its own video, though. Elsa, a Lohengrin-class passenger freighter transport. 166 meters long, weighing in at 8,400 tons, captained by Matthews. Originally a high-speed personal space cruiser, it was granted to Matthews by a certain person as compensation for his services. It was later remodeled by Matthews' Tony Hammer and the rest of the Elsa's crew, who now used it for retrieving junk and other objects. Ship is rigged from stern to stern with unauthorized hidden weaponry, a fact that is unnoticeable from the outside. Its main propulsion engine has been replaced with the latest model logical drive, heavily tuned. In Tony's words, it boasts the fastest speed of any space vessel in the universe. After landing on second Miltia, it was refurbished to add alterations to the structure and internal layout of the ship. In particular, the eggs hangar on the bottom of the ship was enlarged to where it could maintain several ESs at once. This remodeling was headed up by the professor. Matthews is in love with his swan-like ship, but it is currently put up as collateral for a loan from the Kukai Foundation. The Demerung, a free-orbiting colony that serves as Vector Industries' main headquarters, it is so large, 1,000 kilometers in length, that it is almost like an artificial planet. I don't know if 1,000 kilometers qualifies, maybe, I don't know. The nerve center of the entire group and its affiliated businesses gathering on this colony. Xion's living quarters, as well as 1st R&D Division, where she was stationed, were also here. The office where Vector CO Willem converses with the Testaments is laid out in the upper back block of the Demerung. Really? Okay. The Demerung is categorized as a colony, but its mobility and firepower far outclasses even the military's largest battleships. When the Kukai Foundation was in danger after being surrounded by Gnosis, it appeared before Xion with 3 allied ships. With those ships, it launched the powerful Rhine Maiden, a particularly noteworthy part of its power. The music of Wagner is always playing in Wilhelm's office. That, combined with the name Rhine Maiden, gives one a good idea of his tastes. Second Miltia. With old Miltia, the previous capital planet, swallowed up into the space-time anomaly, the capital was hurriedly relocated to a habitable planet that had just completed Stage 2 terraforming within the same Tantus arm. Wow, those are real-ass terms, eh? The planet is still being modified today, but primeval forests still flourishing throughout the land. It is blessed with a great deal of water, making it reminiscent of Lost Jerusalem. Helmer, representative of Second Miltia's autonomous state government, is currently at the helm. Helmer is at the helm. The government contributed to the establishment of the Kukai Foundation. In practice, the two are deeply connected, working as a single group or force. Xion and Jin's house is located in the suburbs of Second Miltia. Immigration to the planet has been taking place since the tail end of Stage 1 terraforming, but Xion's grandfather apparently settled there before that time. The planet is 13,000 kilometers in diameter. Its gravity is 1.03 that of Earth. Really interesting. The Durandal, a heavily armed Kukai Foundation ship that extends over 4,000 meters in length. Junior is normally in command of the ship, however it is run by the sisters Mary and Shelley. Its front end plunges into the center of the Foundation colony to dock with it, turning the whole ship into a metropolis. It has now become a tourist attraction and is even listed in travel guides. This specialized design came about as a result of careful thought over the evacuation of the colony in an emergency. In such a case, citizens could evacuate directly into the Durandal, which would then take off, abandoning the colony. The Durandal's activities, and that happened, we remember that. The Durandal's activities mainly involve missions from the Second Milesian government or contact subcommittee that must be kept from the public eye. As a result, the Durandal's movements are not a matter of public record. The UTIC organization has taken advantage of this situation to ensnare the Durandal in the past. Currently, its contracted mission is to protect the Zohar emulators and run down the Gnosis. PD Island, that's where we are. A small island approximately 2 kilometers in circumference in the Vertex Archipelago on Second Miltia. The Vertex Archipelago is famous as a vacation destination. However, now that most people are concentrating on Fata Morgana Island, which is being fostered as a tourist spot by the Second Milesian government, almost no tourists visit these islands, making them a hidden gem for sightseeing. Miltia, Shion and Jim's home planet, more often referred to today as Old Miltia, to differentiate it from Second Miltia. Site of the Milesian conflict and birthplace of many other incidents and tragedies, it was sealed away for 14 years when its region of space was blocked off from the UMN. However, after the Y data was leaked, the path to Miltia was unlocked and the planet once again turned into a battlefield over the original Zohar resting within Labyrinthos. After landing on Miltia, Shion was faced with a painful decision in front of the Zohar. She also learned the startling truth hidden behind the Milesian conflict. However, despite having destroyed the Zohar control system to stop the awakening of Udo, the Omega system sprung into action by Ormus's hand, and Proto-Omega was born, destroying the planet itself in the process. Yeah, I remember that. That was fucking baller. On that day, Miltia disappeared from space forever. Miltian Hierocracy. A solar system-wide state formed on Miltia, the only habitable planet in the Miltian system, Galaxy 18, Tantus Arm, fourth finger. Galaxy 18? We're not in the Milky Way? I had no idea. Wow. We're intergalactic? When was someone gonna tell me about that? Jesus. Since most of its citizens originated from the immigrant fleet and its political structure followed fleet doctrine, the nation was governed independently, without the input of the Galaxy Federation. Later, it buckled under Federation pressure and moved to an autonomous state form of government with a representative appointed by the Federation government as head of state. However, this status of essentially being under the control of the Federation government served to antagonize the public and became one of the causes of the Milesian conflict. Much of the later UTIC organization membership was built from the remnants of the Hierocracy government's military. The Milesian Autonomous State, a solar system-wide state formed by the Milesian Hierocracy by shifting the structure after it joined the Galaxy Federation. The idea of Federation representatives serving as head of state resulted in smoldering discontent, leading to the outbreak of the Milesian conflict. Of course, there were other circumstances behind the conflict that were not revealed to the public. With this conflict, the Milesian star system became isolated from the UMN, and the remaining Hierocracy government officials were annihilated. Ooh, that's rough. Most of the citizens who escaped planet Miltia moved to a habitable planet 10 parsecs, about 36 light years away, in a neighboring star system, where terraforming had just completed using Milesian funds. Later, the star system would inherit the Milesian name, and the planet would come to be called Second Miltia. Lieutenant General Helmer was chosen from the immigrant fleet military to become the new parliamentary representative, and the planet has been stable ever since. Its capital is Mitre. See, I was always wondering about that, because I wasn't sure if Second Miltia was in the same planetary system as Old Miltia. Evidently not now, since it's 36 light years away. Milesian space refers to the group of solar systems in Galaxy 18, Tantus Arm, fourth finger. Secondary Miltia is a solar system about 36 light years away in the third finger. Light years away from what? From Old Miltia, I suppose. Milesian space was the site of the most intense fighting in a war that completely engulfed the Galaxy Federation. That war, the Milesian conflict, was named after this area. Planet Carioca. Planet with a wealth of national-level support programs, making it inviting to many business and university research facilities. Vector Industries' first and third R&D divisions have constructed several facilities here. It was in the research room of the Type 1 OS design department, the precursor to the Cosmos project, that the archetype went out of control, leading to tragedy. Savarov, a planet that is home to a deep-seated salvator force. The Yuriev Institute was opened here. After a separation from Joachim, Julie Misrayu lived on this planet with Sakura. Since it belonged to a solar system near Miltius, it became the base of operations for the Galaxy Federation peacekeeping detachment fleet during the Miltian conflict. And Mictam, the current name for planet Abraxas. The real reason why the planet was named after a celestial body is unknown, but the prevailing theory claims it was due to the fourth planet in the Mictam system being the only one habitable by humanity. Hold up a second. That thing we read on the mass driver entry about a kid being launched from there, from planet, wasn't that from Mictam? Is this that, and is that the first scene we saw in the game then? Up? Oh, it's updated. I see. What does it say? So Ars Nova was in the S division. Okay. Haven't we read this? I don't think so. Oh fuck, but we're reading. We're gonna read all of it. Anti-Gnosa's weapon system, pronounced like eggs. Piloted vehicle, necessarily limited to humanoid form. In order to combat the intangible Gnosis, eggs designed for many different combat situations are being developed. The main engine is a transfer generator. All energy is directly transferred from the mothership to the mother unit. Actually, you know what? Let me just find a save point real quick. Surely there's a save point. Oh, save point. I'm just gonna quickly restart the recording so I don't lose all this footage, and I'm gonna keep reading. We have more reading to do. Assault maneuver weapon system, pronounced like AIMS, a term used for all humanoid assault weapons that work in conjunction with a mothership or escort craft. Due to a lack of anti-Gnosis equipment, AIMS are superior to eggs in both cost-effectiveness and general-purpose functionality, and are widely used by the Federation government, autonomous states, the immigrant fleet, and other forces. Within the UTIC organization, the Richards Pilum and Herman Scutum are both AIMS. The unit Jin was piloting during the Miltian conflict was also an AIMS. And this is the Doctus' AIMS, codename Astrea. However, its design concept is closer to that of an ES than that of an AIMS. However, how Scientia learned the design data of ES craft is unknown. Do we have ES here as well? No. Secondary weapon system. Cosmos main combat equipment. Refers to her current armament, frame material, and substitute armor materials. The secondary weapon system made experimental use of a PT cartridge type phase transfer cannon. The limited unit size, however, meant that the places and situations in which it could be used were restricted. For this reason, the tertiary weapon system with a phase transfer unit installed as a standard equipment was produced on second Miltium. Cosmos optional weaponry consisting of two phase transfer cannons, one on each shoulder. It was designed by Kevin while he was still alive and built at Vector's second R&D division on second Miltium. Because the phase transfer cannon units are made to be as compact as possible, the recoil when they fire is very high. The version 2 Cosmos combat frame is required in order to fire these weapons. The PT cartridges type phase transfer cannon used by Cosmos when the Song of Nephilim appeared had been created as a test bed for these cannons. When the cannons are fired, a cooling field in the shape of glowing wings is created behind the units. Neat. Designer children? Oh, that sounds super gross. Humans have been genetically enhanced during the early stages of their conception. They are referred to as Salvatore, and their appearance, intelligence, and physical attributes have all been enhanced. Their widespread creation was designed to counter the immigration fleet, which is able to use a part of the Zohar's ability. The life recycling law, proved in TC 4591, was actually created in order to mask this process. The first Salvatore, Dmitry Yuriev, was behind this action. In a broader sense of the term, Junior, Mary, Shelley, and Andrew. What the fuck is Andrew? Could also be categorized as designer children. I see. A URTV, acronym for Judo Retrovirus, somehow. Weapons equipped with anti-Judo waveforms and designed to annihilate Judo. They are organic weapons designed for children based on the genetic information of Dmitry Yuriev, who planned the project. In order to create an anti-Judo waveform, multiple URTVs must link up with the linked master. A total of 669 units were created, each holding a serial number from 001 to 669. During the 30-cent operation of the Mission conflict, serial numbers in the 500s and 600s were sent in. According to records, both male and female URTVs existed. However, the female URTVs were more unstable than the male ones, and most were disposed of during training. That's so gross, disposed of. Intended for deployment as weapons, URTVs were designed to be well balanced both emotionally and in their ability. However, the existence of several high-spec individuals far exceeding standard parameters has been confirmed. These are variant URTVs, and they are likely to have different mission assignments than standard URTVs. Infected URTV, I remember those. Standard URTV which has come into contact with Judo and suffered mental breakdown. Because its mind has been destroyed, it cannot make decisions normally and simply attacks repeatedly and reflexively. I wish we had had this database entry in episode 2. Unit 623 was assigned with Rubidos and the others on the mission to dive into Sakura's subconscious domain through the UMN in order to cure her sensory impairment congenital disorder. However, the visualization of Sakura's fear as Judo waveforms caused by many standard URTVs to be transformed into infected URTVs. Number 623 managed to avoid the worst case scenario, but he received a near-death injury from an enraged albedo in retaliation for the other infected standard URTVs having attacked and injured Rubido. I remember that. 666 is Rubido. A variant URTV to be born at the Yuriev Institute because he was born with red hair was named Rubido, taken from Psychology and Alchemy, in which Rubido refers to the process of a substance turning red. Now we know all the meanings of those. He was born a conjoined twin. Fucking goddammit, stick. His back attached to unit number 667 albedo. Rubido was the first variant URTV to be born at the Institute and possessed a much stronger anti-Judo waveform than standard URTVs. He united the URTVs as a leader figure. As children, his younger brother Albedo never left his side. Rubido watched over him with kindness at times and discipline at others. However, the relationship turned disastrous when the URTV force faced Judo, and Rubido foresaw Milsha and the URTV's future. Understanding everything, Rubido cut off the mental link between the URTVs, fearful that his existence would be erased. As a result, the standard URTVs and Albedo became infected by Judo. To this day, Rubido is tormented by guilt for having cut off the mental link. Indeed. 667, Albedo, to be born at Yuriev Institute. Because he was born, he was born attached to back, conjoined twins created by artificial insemination are extremely rare. When they were separated, their abilities were shifted in opposite directions, but Rubido and Albedo's ability to stop or accelerate the cell replication are fundamentally the same. Rubido was born with the ability to stop the cell aging process, but he was not immortal. Albedo was born with the ability to accelerate cell replication to amazing speeds. Even if his head or heart were completely destroyed, it would always be regenerated. Albedo was not aware that Rubido and Negrito did of course not share this ability. When he found out, he was greatly shocked to learn that he was the only one to have an immortal existence. This special ability is activated not by control of the cells of one's own body, but by accessing the structure of the human itself. Did we know that? Albedo's mental state had been unstable from the start, but it has been even more unstable ever since the day he learned that he could not die. To Albedo, this world was nothing but a painful prison in which he would have to continue living even if his loved ones were to die. His greatest fear was losing his other self, Rubido. And when Rubido released his hand, cutting off the mental link, Albedo came into contact with Udo and finally stepped past the point of no return. 668. Alright. Citrine. We don't know much about her. Standard URTVs. One of the 669 URTVs units created, units 1 through 665 were considered standard. Since the URTVs are based on Dmitry Yuryev's genetic information, the standard units all have the same hair color, face, and body type as Yuryev. They almost completely lack a sense of self and individuality, unlike variant URTVs. Also, they possess weak anti-Udo waveforms and are easily affected by it. The phenomenon of URTVs transforming into infected URTVs was confirmed within Sakura's subconscious domain. The visualization of Sakura's fear as Udo waveforms caused standard URTVs to unexpectedly become infected, but Rubido and the other variant URTVs were unaffected. Many standard URTVs look with envy and malice upon the variant URTVs, who were born with strong anti-Udo waveforms and special abilities and receive special treatment. Yep. Variants. Yeah, we just read a bunch about those. Due to the two induced mutations, they were born with special abilities. They have exponentially more powerful Udo anti-existence waveforms and mental waves. The hair color of each is unique, as well as they were named after these colors. Their name, yeah, Jung's psychological terms. Oh, yellowing as well, citrine. I guess. Other URTVs are called standard URTVs, yeah. Oh, they're listed under weapons as well. Wow. Okay, immigrant fleet. A second. One of the space fleets that escaped Earth when Lost Jerusalem disappeared. During an extended period of nomadic existence, the fleet's scope expanded and split apart, and each splinter fleet emigrated to a newly discovered settlement area. Is there Lost Jerusalem? Let me just double check something. Xenosaga, Lost Jerusalem. Oh, it's just Earth. Am I supposed to know that? I hope I am. I just googled that real quick because it said they came from Earth. Vector Industries, the largest corporate entity in the Federation involved with... But we knew about Earth. We knew about Kenya, for fuck's sake. Vector Industries is the largest corporate entity in the Federation involved with the production and distribution. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Nearly every item related to culture and civilization, from food to pharmaceuticals to software, hardware, and even weapons and communications, is divided into many departments. The first R&D division, second R&D division, and third R&D division forming its cores. Wilhelm is the company's chief executive officer. Its base is the Demirum, a free orbiting colony whose length extends 1,000 kilometers. It has total control over communications and military affairs, from UMN construction and Realian development to the production of eggs and cosmos. Wilhelm, its CEO, used to work as executive committee director, giving him major clout with both the Federation government and the governments of assorted autonomous states. Vector's long history can be traced all the way back to the ancient age of Lost Jerusalem. The excavation of the Zohar in Lake Turkana was carried out under Vector sponsorships. Oh! Vector is that old? That means this company is over 4,000 years old. And Vector also handled the later analysis of the original Zohar. The name Wilhelm is listed as the company's leader from that time, but it's unclear what connection this person may have with the current CEO. Are they the same person? Vector First Division R&D. Department devoted to the research and development of many types of software, from Cosmos, a project headed by Shion's group, to the IT software that is Cosmos Control Program, commonly referred to as First Division. Originally, it was involved with UMN administration as a joint government private sector business. The structural law devised by Carnegie, its supervisor at the time. Is there something called the Carnegie Hall? That sounds like it might be a thing, I don't know. Led to the further growth of the UMN. Since the UMN administration business was transferred to the government, its primary tasks have become the development of industrial use super AIs, computer chips, and the software that comes with them. Also, by the way, since I looked this up, I don't think it was an issue that I looked up and confirmed that Lost Jerusalem is Earth, since Lake Turkana was on Earth, and this speaks of Lost Jerusalem. Second Division, department devoted to the development and production of ships and eggs for the Federation fleet, commonly referred to as Second Division. Department devoted to the development and production of ships and... No, I read that. Also handles the job of taking weaponry in the testing phase from the tactical sim lab and fitting them onto experimental units and ships. After arriving at 2nd Militia, Shion had Cosmos transferred to 2nd Division in order to apply her tertiary weapon systems, which had already been in development for a long time. 3rd R&D Division, department devoted to the development, production, education, and sale of Realians, commonly referred to as 3rd Division. Even after being sold, Realians are obligated to visit on a regular basis for counseling and maintenance. Counseling, huh? Ormus, the general term for the religious order that unites the immigrant fleet. Kukai Foundation, a special foundation organized 13 years ago with the 2nd Militia autonomous state leading the effort. Based on a giant non-orbital colony, most of its membership is composed of victims of the life recycling law. Its representative trustees are Guinan, Kukai, and Guinan Jr. It was established after the Militian conflict with the goal of... I think I might have misunderstood something before when I read about Guinan Kukai, that he was named after the blackening process. Clearly that refers to the name Negrito and not to Guinan. Never mind that shit. It was established after the Militian conflict with the goal of putting down the UTIC organization, with the 2nd Militian government leading in its creation. Afterwards, it was disarmed and made into a foundation, receiving a huge capital injection from Vector in the process. Its achievements in rescuing life recycling law victims and offering them livelihoods were recognized, and soon the foundation had earned itself a positive reputation in the society. Ever since a part of it was commercialized, its main business has been in the entertainment and travel industries, but it has a hidden face. Amongst other things, it accepted a request from the 2nd Militian government and contact subcommittee to recover and manage the Zohar emulators. The Galaxy Federation. A gigantic federal state established by mankind upon leaving Earth, composed of approximately 500,000 autonomous state star systems. Its capital planet is 5th Jerusalem. Oh, we're at 5th Jerusalem now? It is formed of about 500,000 planetary nations. The presence of the UMN, which made possible huge reductions in physical and temporal constraints compared to earlier modes of transportation and communication, was an enormous influence in the formation of such a large-scale, far-reaching federation. The Executive Committee is its highest decision-making body. The Contact Subcommittee is a research committee established by the Federation government in TC 4754 to respond to the Gnosis phenomenon. 7 expert members, including Representative Julie Misrai, serve as the group's central core. Together with the other committee members, the so-called subcommittee numbers over 2,000 people. The implementation of the Zohar project, the recovery of the original Zohar, and the analysis of the Y data were all advanced by the Contact Subcommittee, which was at the center of each project. Once Dmitry Yuriev returned to the Federation Parliament, implementation work on the Zohar project was transferred to the military, and the subcommittee participated in the project as a supporting player. And the UTIC organization, official name, the Unknown Territory Interventing and Creation Organization. Its previous incarnation, the Cerebral Sciences Research Center, was founded by Joachim Misrai. It was Joachim who proposed it be restructured into the UTIC organization. After becoming the UTIC organization, the group continued its research into using the original Zohar as an energy generator and weapon, as well as performed the development of 100 series observational units, the Hilbert effect, and the combat realliance. Aiming to rule the galaxy through command of the Zohar, the group then rebelled against the Federation government and set off the Miltian conflict. However, Labyrinthos was overrun by the Galaxy Federation descent operations, and the organization's mastermind Joachim Mizrahi fell to his death. After the Miltian conflict, it vanished from the center stage of history, but the group itself survived, setting up base on the planetoid Pleroma. Gathering information and building up its military power in secret, it leapt back onto the center stage in order to obtain the Y data that had been sealed within the 100 series observational unit prototype Momo. Okay, last category. Vessel of Anima. An object that closely resembles the spinal cord of a living creature. Does it? How it works is unclear, but it functions as a receiving system for Zohar energy, making it useful as a power reactor for ES units. Abelsart, tell me about it. The Galaxy Federation sees this as a giant gnosis that appeared in Miltian space. Really? The luminous object in its center is not a planet, but it's speculated to be something like a giant energy field. And ES, there it is. General term for humanoid mobile weapons loaded with a vessel of anima. Their cockpits can be either single or two-seat, depending on whether or not firing control needs to be divided between a pilot and a co-pilot. Most units equipped with a large amount of weaponry are two-seat due to their specialized functionality, or most units are single-seat. The size of an ES is not greatly different from that of a standard AIMS, but its fighting ability can be an order of magnitude greater. With the right combination of weaponry and pilot, an ES can hold enough combat power to be a match for a whole division of AIMS units. The chief reason given for this is a complete difference in the quality of the energy it uses for its operation, as well as the method by which that energy is supplied. AIMS, like eggs, operate via pulse energy transfer from their mothership, making them highly reliant on their UMN connection status and the condition of the mothership. This leads to the amount of energy that can be supplied in a given amount of time to be necessarily limited. This holds especially true... Okay. This holds especially true when the mothership has been destroyed in battle. In such a case, basically the only recourse for a unit is to operate using its internal condenser and auxiliary cogenerator. However, since the firearms and logical drive installed in each unit were designed under the assumption they would be receiving a large supply of pulse energy from the mothership, it becomes impossible to operate everything at full spec. On the other hand, since ES units operate on energy supplied by the Zohar via the vessel of anima interface, their supply of energy is inherently limitless. So they take energy from the Zohar regardless of where it is. That's curious. They are not reliant on the status or location of a mothership, which makes their operating radius and the weaponry they can use in battle practically unlimited. Of course, it is rarely the case that they use weaponry so overly enormous that it severely reduces their mass balance and mobility. The only disadvantage is that an unqualified pilot is unable to link the vessel of anima with the Zohar and therefore cannot even start the unit. There are only a very few qualified pilots in the entire galaxy. As a result, ES operation seems to be naturally limited to tactical level operations. The ES Asher is Chaos and Juniors unit, customized for Juniors use. Versatile unit capable of handling both ground and air combat. It is prepared with weaponry that can handle all aspects of battle. Zebulon is Ziggy and Momo's unit, customized for Momo's use. It specializes in long-range gun combat and has been installed with a great deal of firepower. Its mobility lags behind other ES units, but it covers for its drawbacks with its multi-directional ether attacks. Even with its two-seat structure, the enormous amount of weaponry installed would be completely impossible for a normal co-pilot to handle. It is safe to say that this task could only be managed by Momo, a 100 series observational unit. The Dyna was built by Kevin as a supplementary weapon for Cosmos, but never officially registered. Shiona accompanies Cosmos in the ES Dyna, Within Vector, it was never treated as anything more than a piece of equipment with which to gather data for the Cosmos project. Its value as a machine has already depreciated in full. As a result, Xion has been allowed to operate it on her own authority. However, as it is still an ES, Wilhelm later officially requested it be loaned to the Kukai Foundation. The unit's characteristics include its long travel range, on the level of a space cruiser, and its high speed and mobility in battle. It also has an ample array of firepower. The X-Buster, made available when the unit is operated in conjunction with Cosmos, is especially worth noting. Although it has a two-seat cockpit, when not docked with Cosmos, Xion handles everything from unit control to firearms herself, apparently having made the lower seat into a simple navigational station. The unit's head contains a docking connector for a mobile Dyna interface, which was the stupid bicycle that Cosmos had in episode 2. Inquisitors, a group aligned with Ormus, holds a singular position within the religious organization, and the cardinal that leads it is said to have verbal clout and influence rivaling the patriarch. Udo, the Unus Mundus drive operation system. Is that what it is? I didn't remember that. Said to be a control AI originally created as a UMN navigational device, it was refitted by Joachim Misrai as a Zohar command device. According to Vector Records, the history of link experiments with the Udo extends back to the Lost Jerusalem era. Apparently it has been recognized as a wave-based existence since far before the development of the UMN. Now that's interesting. Even today, details on Udo have not been revealed. It is thought to be a consciousness that exists in a different dimension from our own, deeply intertwined with a space-time anomaly touched off by the Zohar and is going out of control. The UTIC organization, knowing that certain people are able to make contact with this wave existence, gathered test subjects with this contact ability and conducted Zohar operational experiments. They tried to use them to complete a so-called Udo system, but in the end, it merely led to the Zohar going out of control. Interesting. The golden object that is the key to everything. Suddenly appearing during the excavation of ruins in Kenya in the 21st century, it was soon recovered by Vector, where research on it continued. Grimoire Verum, one of the researchers, conducted a link experiment on it that failed, touching off a space-time anomaly that resulted in the annihilation of Lost Jerusalem. So, I didn't make that connection that Grimoire Verum was the motherfucker who destroyed Earth. Interesting. Research will later be picked up anew by Joachim Misrai as the I'm sorry, it just occurred to me that means Nephilim is super duper old. Research will later be picked up anew by Joachim Misrai. As the research wore on, assorted other people would be involved. It remained sealed away in Old Miltia for 15 years, but reappeared once more after the wide data was leaked and fell into the hands of Ormus Patriarch Sergius. However, it was soon caught in the subsequent space-time anomaly and swallowed up by the giant gnosis known as Abel's Ark. Its current whereabouts are unknown. So Abel's Ark has it now, which is interesting. I have no idea how it all connects back to Xenogears, if at all. Imaginary space. There's a theory that the space we live in is composed of two realities and nothingness. Normal space. Is this like... This is kind of a real idea. Normal space, which we are actually able to perceive, and imaginary space, which proceeds along an imaginary temporal axis we cannot perceive. The concept of imaginary time itself is a theory devised by Hawking to explain the birth of the universe without the use of singularities. This is totally real. Without relying on the existence of God. With it, one can picture a universe without any beginning. The Big Bang singularity or an end. The Big Crunch singularity. But instead simply composed of a multidimensional hyperspherical surface. How interesting. In this story, the gnosis exist along this imaginary temporal axis and intervene in normal space. That's crazy, dude. We've read about that. Pilgrimage fleet, another term for the gnosis. Is it? Pilgrimage fleet. That's a very interesting. Zarathustra, Compass of Order and Chaos. Placed in Wilhelm's office that reacted to Cosmos Awakening. Uses plate modeled after the Zohar discovered at Lake Turkana, set in a stone tablet on top of a base. Wilhelm apparently uses this compass to procure assorted information even, but how it works is shrouded in mystery. The Chaos Ring is currently non-functional, so it is also referred to as the Compass of Order. And that's interesting that the Chaos Ring is not functioning when there's a dude named Chaos running around. Except he might be Yeshua. Zarathustra, an entity shrouded in mystery, is not even known whether it is of physical or non-physical nature. Meaning it's not just literally... Then it's not just literally Zarathustra as in Nietzsche's writing. Testament. Wilhelm's aides each wear a different color of cloak, they pilot mysterious mobile weapons and even have the power to distort space. Their power is so massive that even Sergius, piloting the Proto-Omega, was wiped away in a flash. Oh, did they do that? I didn't quite understand that then. The Song of Nephilim, one of the devices made by the late Joachim Mizrahi to control the Zohar, is shaped like a giant inverted pyramid. It was once stored within Labyrinthos, headquarters of the Utic organization. Shion saw its shape from her mother's hospital room. As the name implies, the Song of Nephilim plays a song, a wavelength, which cannot be heard by normal human ears. The song is said to attract the noses. The Song of Nephilim are the words of God that were recorded in the Y data, one of the relics, the legacies of God. Wait, am I supposed... A man named Grimoire Verum analyzed these words to create the program known as Lemegeton, I think is how they said it in The Missing Year. Joachim reconstructed the fragment version, and he wanted to use the Lemegeton to put Nephilim's being into what her name was, the girl. Joachim reconstructed a fragmented version of this program as part of the Udo system. The wavelengths it emitted include the word Nephilim in its human audible range, so he named the system the Song of Nephilim. The Song of Nephilim was used in the Miltian conflict 15 years ago, however, it had not been tuned by Joachim. Its power was insufficient to bring the Zohar into operation. Dimensionship, the act of transferring space itself to another space in a different location and phase. Phenomenon that deviates from all laws of physics. Things that supposedly exist are made to disappear as if they had never been anything there at all. Lost Jerusalem is thought to have been shrunk to Planck scale size and erased from existence by dimensionship. That makes it sound like it could possibly be brought back. I don't know. But the Y data, said to be research data related to the Zohar left behind by the late Joachim Mizrahi, Joachim sealed it into Momo's subconscious domain during the Miltian conflict. The UMN transport code for old Miltia, closed off 15 years ago, is recorded inside the data. Someone who obtained this code would not only be able to gate jump to old Miltia again, but would also be able to obtain the original Zohar sleeping on old Miltia. Consequently, a vicious battle unfolded between the Utic organization and the Federation government over this Y data, with efforts on all sides concentrated on securing Momo. After Momo had been brought into the custody of the Contact Subcommittee, an attempt to remove the protection from the Y data and salvage it was undertaken at the UMN Administration Center on 2nd Miltia. Thanks to Albedo Piazzolla's plot, however, the analysis failed. That resulted in the data being leaked to outside sources, setting off the space-time anomaly in Miltian space. And that was very quickly jumped over in episode 2. We have read the entire database. We are now armed with knowledge. And also my brain is kind of mushy, so I'm gonna save here. And I will see you next time.